Hello everyone and welcome to my video. I'm Catherine and today I want to be talking about why I've decided not to get married and not to have kids. I think it's very important to talk about this topic because there really wasn't much about it on YouTube, and I want to make people who make the choice to not get married or not have kids or both to feel more included, and like that there's other people who feel like you and have made the same choices and you're not alone. So I really want to make this channel about people not feeling like they're alone, because there are other people out there just like you. So that's what I want to get across. Yeah, and that's why I want to start talking about why I don't want kids. And I've written some points down. I'm not gonna be saying every reason to why I'm not getting married or why I'm not having kids, because there are so many. I've just written some of them down. So that's what I'm gonna be talking to you about today. And first off, I'm gonna be talking about why I don't want kids. There's a whole lot of reasons why I don't want kids. First of all, you could say I've never had this maternal instinct. Yes, I've always thought about having kids when I was younger because I thought that's just something you do. I didn't really think that that was a choice, just thought it was part of life. When I've gotten older and I thought about getting pregnant, actually it's like a nightmare to me. It's something I never want to experience. Just the whole thought of getting pregnant and being pregnant, that's just really a living nightmare situation for me, because I don't like the idea of something growing inside you. I don't like all the difficult things that comes along with pregnancy, like how your body changes and nausea and pain, and you never know, you might die giving birth. I don't know. I know that it's not a lot of people that it happens to today that die during childbirth, but I know some people still do, and it can be a really dangerous situation. You could lose too much blood, or there could be other complications that makes it really hard for you when giving birth, and that could actually make it dangerous. So there's a lot of reasons just in the whole getting pregnant and getting a child out of you again, that's just a living nightmare scenario for me. Also because you know that birth, you will be lucky and had the little thing out in no time, but you could also be in birth for a really long time, like 3 days or something, and everybody knows it's excruciating pain when you're giving birth. So just all around, I don't like it. I don't like the idea. I'm not stretch marks just because of, you know, life, and that's just something you get, and don't want to get any more of them. Certainly not on my stomach, because that's actually one of the body parts on myself I actually really like, and I don't want it to change. And I really don't like loud noises. That's another reason. I really don't like the crying and the screaming and the tender tantrums. I really get annoyed. I really do. I wouldn't know how to react in the right way to that, I think. So that's just not for me. And another reason is also I don't like not having time for yourself and having this child around that you have to be there for all the time. I just don't like that. I like having me time, and if there's some noises in the background, that is my hamster. I think he's up eating in his wheel, so that's the noises in the background if you can hear it. Just a disclaimer for that. So I can't do much about that. He has the right to wake up and eat and go back to sleep again. And also, really, yeah, as I said, I really hate losing me time. I really hate to have to be there for them 24/7. That's just too much for me. And I don't like it when people are too clingy and kids can be there so around. It's just not for me. And also just I would hate having to play with them. I'm not just I'm not a very childish person. I would hate that. I'm like a old woman on the inside, so really that just isn't for me. And I would also hate them like making a mess everywhere, because kids do that, and having to clean up after them all the time. Just in general, having to have a home that's much more clean because you have kids. You have to clean a lot more. That would just really suck. And the other reason is that most of the time the mother has the biggest part of the job when it comes to raising a kid, so I would probably have to do the most, because that's just the way it is. And that would really suck, because I know even with just pets, I'm the one doing the most, because I just want the best for them. And having kids that you have to worry about all the time, have to take care about all the time, I just think that would be too much for me. That honestly would just be too much. I would never like be able to take care of myself, because I would have all my focus on them, and that just isn't very good for anybody. And just the whole reason that I don't want them, that's probably just the biggest reason. I don't hate them, they're just not my cup of tea, but you know, I don't hate them, just I don't want them from myself. That's the biggest reason. And a kid should never be brought up in a home where the parents didn't really want to have them, or isn't really able to take good care of them. Raising another human being really takes, I know, a lot of things, a lot of resources, a lot of time, and I just think it should be more normal really thinking about having kids, and saying it to everybody, it is a choice, you have a choice, and if it isn't the right thing for you, just don't do it, because the kid will know, and it will hurt the kid in the long run to have a parent who don't want to have them, or who just can't take care of them. Just don't do it. I know for myself how much damage you can get when you have parents that shouldn't have been parents, and that didn't really want a job as a parent. So just don't do it if you don't want to. Of course, it's your choice, just like it's mine. I'm not trying to say what you do and what you shouldn't, but just think about it. I think that's the most important, because it really takes a lot of things, and when you have a kid, you can't regret that, because kids are for life. Even when they're 18 and they move away from home, you still have a responsibility for them. You still have to help them out in life and be there for them. So it's a job that never ends, until you die, of course, but you just will have to think about it. I think that's the most important thing. Getting into the other half of my video, which is about why I don't want to get married. I have a boyfriend, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him, but I still don't want to get married. And for me personally, it's because of the laws in my country that makes it so that you're almost like one person legally. So I just don't like that. I like being an individual. I like being myself. I like to not be merged with my boyfriend in a way that the laws in Denmark wouldn't make it if we got married. And it will also, the laws would also make it so that we have less money, because you have to take care of your partner when you're married. So that also means financially, so you get a little less money. That's just the way it is, and I really don't like that. I like being myself and having a financial freedom. Of course, we help each other with bills, like the rent and so that are bills that we both have to pay. But otherwise, the money that's left after that, for me, it's really important that I could choose to do with it what I like, because it's mine, and I like to have some things that are mine and something that is my boyfriend's. I don't like it when you aren't an individual now, you're just like one merged person, and that's just what the laws in Denmark would make us. And I don't really like churches, I'm not religious. And I don't like the cost of a wedding. So overall, for me it's a lot about still being an individual. But it's also about if my boyfriend makes a huge mistake or get into that, or I get into that, I don't think it's fair that the other person has to pay for that because it's my mistake or it's my boyfriend's mistake. I don't think we should be merged into one person that way. And if there's something we have to get together through, for example, the government, we have to do it together. So I have to send my information and his, because we are one person. So I could just feel in my stomach that marriage wasn't right for me. And we have actually decided to get married when I was like, just feeling this pit forming in my stomach, like this wasn't more right for me. It's just my intuition saying this isn't right. That doesn't mean I'm not happy with my boyfriend. I don't want to stay with him forever because I want to stay with him forever. But it's just the laws actually, and the whole thought of being married. I just don't like it because I don't think that we should punish each other for our mistakes financially as such. I think we should be able to always be there for each other, but if it is my mistake, I shouldn't pay for it. This video helped explain why I don't get married and why I don't want kids. And I think it's very important to talk about this because you're not weird if you don't want to get married and don't have kids. I think it's healthy to really think about these things because a lot of people don't, and it's alright to think about these things. But it's also alright if you want to get kids and you want to get married. I just think it's important that we put a lot of thought into it and that we talk with our partners about it. Talk about why we want kids, why we don't want kids, and before you get into a serious relationship, know where you stand. Know if you want kids or if you don't, so you find a partner that wants the same as you. I just think that's very important. And in the end, I just think you should do what's right for you. So you do you, and I'll see you next time.